should we talk about math, or should we talk about hot wiring airplanes and going through the St. Louis Arch? You have to listen to that one from South by Southwest. Okay, well, everybody's here to grind an axe, and mine is that we need to learn more math and we need to inspire people to do so. And I'm coming from a kind of a space weapons background, although I started off at NASA and working with NASA in my Army background. And now we're reconnecting with NASA. I'm helping with, I've become a big social media volunteer, one of Camilla Estio's pals in all of her adventures. I drove her across the country to the STS-135. And what became apparent to me was we needed to actually kind of kick up. Is this thing even running? Yeah, no kidding. Okay, he could run it. And so when I started off my career, I was a math teacher. It was kind of like George Carlin teaching calculus. He actually swore in class, and I guess we can't really do that much anymore. And what I wanted to do was just kind of remind people where we're coming from, and the fact that we need to return to basics in getting after kids and discovering the magic in the world, the magic in math, really. I mean, to think about the fact that you could have these formulas that describe the relationship between where we're at, how fast we're going to change, getting there, velocity, acceleration, and really making it fun. And so, and one of the most fun things that I did in my life was to actually come up with a new way of doing that, and it kind of changed the whole way we do electromagnetics way back in the late 1980s. But we never really talk about that. We now need to move to the next level and get people to understand, for example, how space actually works. We're all fans of it, but we need to get more kids, the next generation, understanding how to deal with these formulas in a much more complex way if we're really going to accomplish the goals that we're all talking about here today. Okay. So we start off here, a long time ago, and unfortunately, most of us don't get much further than this. And that is really a sad thing, especially since, Mr. Einstein came along in the 1920s and got us, boom, moving at a much higher level. And, we never really see this stuff. No one ever really sees this stuff, but we should. I mean, this is kind of the simplest form of the simplest form of anything serious, and it only continues to get worse or better as the case may be as you go on. And then, to actually get it right, we have to go here, right? And think about what Einstein must have been doing back in the 1920s, crunching his way through this equation, figuring out that the precession of Mercury, was actually just so, proving one of the major parts of the theory of relativity. And now here we are all this time later, and we're still more or less screwing around with method number one, for calculating orbital dynamics and things like that. And we don't really even have the people in our country that know how to do the second one. Some of the other fun things that we could do if we actually got more people to do this. Sarah back here has seen me teach a whole bunch of kids this summer to do this very thing. Making things more fun, like getting them into math and science through things like virtual reality and games, which we've actually done here this summer. I've actually got on my smartphone an implementation of that very set of equations that can now run in real time on your smartphone. So we actually have the next generation of games to get people to play with and familiarize themselves with these concepts. Lots of math everywhere here, lift, drag, circuits, and wheels, tires, suspensions, things like that. One of the things that we really specialize in our company is actually making what we call the real virtual reality. And it's kind of fun to actually get kids into a lab where they can start to do these more advanced things quickly and not just get bogged down in the details. And one of the things that you'll see on our little smartphone demo is how we were able to get these kids quickly playing with virtual worlds in a way that was really a lot of fun for them, and really got them there from zero to putting out a new generation of smartphone games in 90 days. And this is some of the stuff that we do in the real world, and it's worth noting that through all the transformations in that little diagram, there's math all along the way. So, in summary, we need to create a new generation that's mathematically literate. We're losing this in our country. We need to get back to basics, and all of you can help. Go help a kid do his homework.